I completely dominated Power Dominion. I absolutely crushed these monsters, making to the wave 38. In this video, I will show you exactly how I did it. First of all, let's minimize the battlefronts number to 3. Then I want to upgrade my headquarters with some guns and also I placed officer quarters so to be able to produce recon pretty soon. 100 HP for HQ whenever I place a building, that's the deal. Now I'll take recon production because this would be useful for your rolls. What I want to do is to build a single battlefront line. Headquarters repairs, let's go. Perfect place for the tile. And for additional protection, one mirador would be useful. HQ plus 75% HP, and we will become unstoppable. Alright, let's go and to deal with the 4th wave easily too. Headquarters HP increased by 2000, let's go. Zone expansion, let's go right there this way guys, another perfect tile. Plus 40% supply production, let's take it. On to the next wave, and so far these weapons we have built are dealing with these zombies pretty easily. Claymore defense for possible shield breaks. At the same time I'm upgrading my miradors for more possible damage. There will be more and more monsters coming my way, so having extra guns is pretty handy. Already have enough buildings, so let's take the upgrade. New threats are spotted, basically I need some shield breaking guns. After I place the style of course. But also now let's see if your current guns are efficient to deal with a lot of smaller zombies at once. Let's see if we take some damage and we do not. And of course taking tier 2 doctrines. Just in case let's increase headquarters HP using the Mirador trick. Close support increases our HP. Threat reveal 1 wave earlier. Another perfect placement, I do not need to make a reroll. Now let's start developing our shield breaking guns. Claymore defense is the best current weapon I have, but obviously I'll have to upgrade it. I see they're taking some damage, so that would be nice to have some quick shooting guns, but also right now our priority should be shield breaking. So let's upgrade our Claymore defense. Here this alien's cannon I'll have to lay down the Brita's nest. The worst possible tile you could ever get and you cannot even reroll it. Let's get some extra money for ourselves though. Free money, thank you very much. Shield break weapons activated. Plus additional gun for a small pack of enemies. Let's see, can we break the shields? Let's see if our guns are doing a pretty good job guys. And yes, okay, for the most part these shields kept getting broken and only one of them made through. You know the drill, buildings HP increase by 10%. Let's see what can we do there, and I already see I could eventually connect these. Alright, so I see the top path is a little bit weak, it doesn't have shield breaking guns. And I'll just simply keep collecting these doctrines. Let's save up some money for durable turrets, so this way I'm not buying anything. Additional money is needed for extra defense to be provided. Money making doctrines, here we go. Battlefronts number, shrink to 1. Another Claymore defense for shield breaks and a lot of smaller enemies. Wave 15, let's go, and so far I see these guns are making a pretty good job. I see much fewer enemies are getting through. Plus 5 discovery and 40% supply production increase. Next on, we got to improve Imperial Barracks. Why? Because they will help us out dealing with a lot of smaller enemies as well. I do not particularly need any of these weapons, so let's take money. I need to activate these bonuses. Another Claymore defense activated. So far not so many air monsters, so I'm paying my most attention on defeating and breaking through the shield enemies. More supply baby. New enemies are spotted and there will be some air units and dividing monsters. So let's bring Puma position into the action, the best weapon to deal with the air units. They're not coming yet though, but we gotta be prepared. Setting some anti-air weapons before it's too late. So picking the cards accordingly. Having plasma fence would be nice, but I'm not ready for it yet. All supply now goes towards establishing anti-air position. We've got to prepare against anti-air monsters as well. And plus 60 supply production is just simply insane. Of course that money goes towards establishing another Puma position, this time fully upgraded. Some doctrines, why not? HQ plus 50 HP, we need to get it activated. Let's see so far how are we dealing with these monsters. I think we're still doing a good job, though right there a lot of them come closer. But we're still understandable because these are lethal ground units with shields, while right now we're preparing enemies from the air. And now it's definitely the time for the air command. It will be bombing all enemies in the straight line. Wave 20, here we go. As you can see right there, these bombings are nice. So far we've got one main tab, which splits into two different tabs, but all in all I should prepare most attention towards protecting that splitting point. This is why I built an established this verbal position, because it covers a lot of wide area and is perfect protection to cover a lot of runs. Also to support the main point, I established the vision relay, because this is perfect place and weapon to maximize the damage for shielding drains. I think another mirror door would be useful to increase our health eventually. Or to be honest, even right now. Let's establish frontline trench as well, because I want my enemies to be slowed. Whichever enemies will be attacked by it, will start moving slower. And now since we're finally establishing a lot of money, I think it's finally the time for some plasma fans. But first of all, let's take all of the bonuses from the air command. I think having another bombardment line would be super useful. If I have another smoke signal placed like that, the damage will be doubled down. Slovak Howitzer is another weapon I like. We will create a super great damage to our biggest straight line. Also I decided to place a scout hideout, so that would be easier for me to deal with the flying monsters. I noticed these are super good when it comes to dealing with flying units. Right, we're taking some damage, so right there, that's a little bit unfortunate, but overall we still have third of the health left. So now developing some plasma fences would be definitely useful. Of course I place them to stop monsters to coming from these two main paths, and also right there I want them to be stuck in the points in which I've got the most weapons, so that basically achieves the maximum damage. Let's also use our new gun Omega Emitter, which will take off the monsters in a straight but another line as well. So far a lot of aliens are getting stuck behind the fences, so I think taking even two of them was a super good deal to me. Another sturdy bunker for smaller monsters, and let's upgrade our plasma fence as well. We have 28 and let's see how are we doing so far. Alright, a lot of monsters are not getting through the fence, which is already a good sign. As you can see right there, we deal with them easily. All buildings deal plus 15% damage for air units. This is what I've been waiting for, baby. Scout hideouts are also good as well, because we can slow down enemies. So besides air units, we can also make your enemies slower. So this is why right there I like them a lot. And at the same time I did some upgrades for the fences. Basically I made them more powerful, and basically we will be able to sustain these monsters for longer. Why? Because I increased their HP by 100%. So as you can see right there, these monsters are not getting through at all. New monsters are coming, and these are shields and air units again. Basically double trouble. Also I decided to make a very expensive upgrade for one of the plasma fences. Taking a third upgrade called Unstable Field, basically it increases its HP by 150%, but with downside of it, when the energy field is overloaded, the HQ suffers 250 damage. And another plasma fence card, baby. Of course I'm going to save my money for it. Meanwhile right there we can watch how well we can deal with wave 31. So far we've done a really good job. Some monsters are right there skipping through, but these are some smaller ones, so I do not care about it as much. The main thing is to survive till wave 35, because this is when we will meet the final boss. But I'm also looking forward to see how much I can push through that after it. And you know what I'm doing right now? I'm obviously developing another plasma fence. These should carry me to the top. Let's see how well we can survive wave 32. A lot of shielding monsters are coming, guys, flying ones as well. It seems like we're dealing with the flying monsters, but so much shielding monsters are getting through and we're taking some damage. While some flying ones have made as well, guys. Our HP at 603. That was really close, but it seems like we're going to still make it. We definitely need this rampart missile silo, which will attack all entry points at the same time. The more entry points, the more efficient it will become. And the effect is up to 4 entry points, but later on in the game, we're going to get some upgrades to attack all of the entry points at once. As you can see, these rockets are insane. Basically, we already destroyed the majority of the monsters, and barely any of them are making to the fences. This weapon is literally the game changer. Not enough money to target all of the entry points, so let's go into the battle. The weapon is already insane, but if I'm going to get this upgrade, guys, then basically that's a total game changer right there. Once again, guys, it will be so much easier to deal with these monsters. As you can see, I've got this upgrade, but the monsters already came through these entrance points, so right there, it is still going to be the most lethal weapon for the final wave 35. Let's take Mirador upgrades and final wave breeding grounds. Hatching eggs emerge from the ground during the final wave. Here it is, and let's see if we can survive this monster, alien hell guys with final wave. If we beat this wave, we beat this game, so let's take a look at that and let's just simply watch these monsters getting shredded to pieces. Right where we're getting super close towards beating this game. These monsters are not making to our base and we defeat them, guys. We absolutely destroyed Tower Dominion. Let's see how far we can push though. On to the wave 36. So far we're doing good job, guys. Right there, especially like this silo, rampart missile silo weapon, which deals the most damage in this run. Basically, right there we can also get some upgrades, and right there, as you can see, right there, these monsters could even be slowed if we get the final upgrade. So this is what I'm looking for. Right there, super heavy pulse defense weapon is developed as well, which will be additional protection for us. Getting another plasma fence is always super useful, but now I know I should be saving up all of my money for the final rampart missile silo upgrade. Plus 10 targets, plus 50% explosion size, targets are slowed. I cannot think of any better upgrade. And believe it or not, but it seems like you've dealt with a wave 37 as well. Of course, let's pick up our rampart missile silo. Not buying it yet, but let's go to the wave 38, which is a completely good right there, guys. I decided to save my money up and actually get the best upgrade called Victor's Warhead for plus 300 damage and plus 2 targets, causing us 6,500 supply. But what are these big monsters, guys? Why are they making through GG's? But what a run, GG's, guys.